Here is a simplified explanation of the Fair Housing Act, Sherman Antitrust Act, RESPA, and TILA to help you study for the real estate exam. If you don't know me, my name is Robert Rico, and I've helped tens of thousands of people across the U.S. complete their courses, pass the exam, and become real estate agents. So if you want more videos like this, subscribe to US Realty Training down below. Let's get started. So let's talk about TILA. What does it stand for? TILA, T-I-L-A. Now that acronym is going to stand for Truth in Lending Act. Truth in Lending Act, which is extremely important when it comes to loans, all right? Truth in Lending Act. Don't be fooled. What I want you to do is this. Look at those words. Truth in Lending Act. Don't overthink it. What is it? It's an act, right? The word is right there. It's an act. Well, what kind of act? The kind that you have to be truthful when it comes to lending. This goes for all lenders, man. This goes for all lenders. You have to be truthful when it comes to lending money. So you have a borrower walks into the lender's office and they want to borrow some money, right? They want to borrow some money to buy their house. They want to get a mortgage. And the lender says, have a seat, and they have a cup of coffee and they chit chat. And the lender, in this case, has to remember he's got to follow the rules and regulations of TILA, the Truth in Lending Act. What does that mean? It means they can't lie. They have to be transparent. That's the key word. Listen to me. That's the key word. Transparency. 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 The lender has to tell the borrower exactly what they're getting into, the costs involved with getting a loan, the APR, the interest rate, what their payment's going to be, the whole works, everything. Now, why is this important? So that the buyer can make a solid decision, a nice, comfortable decision. Oh yeah, based on these terms, lender, who's being truthful to me, I like this. I think I want to go ahead and apply for a loan. Or they may say, wow, lender, based on what you just told me, because you're required to be truthful to me based on TILA, I don't like what I see. This is too expensive. I think I'll shop around for another loan. And that's what TILA is. Now, TILA was enacted in 1968. Just so you know, keep that in mind, 1968. But TILA, in a nutshell, what is it? It's right there in the title. It's right there in the acronym. Think about it. Truth in Lending Act. Straightforward. Don't have to think any more than that. Have to be truthful when it comes to lending so that the borrower is very well familiar to what they're getting into or what they're saying. I don't want any of this. I'm walking away. Now, on the exam, you might see a question where it refers to transparency from the lender, where it requires the lender to be transparent when it comes to loan fees. What's going to be the answer? TILA. TILA requires the lender to be transparent with all costs revolving the loan. If you want a quick and easy way to study and feel prepared for the real estate exam, get our exam prep package and video crash course. The exam prep has state and national content to help you study for the exam. It includes unlimited practice exams you can take over and over again. That way you know what it's like to be tested on the material. This alone has helped thousands feel confident and pass the exam. The exam prep package also comes with vocabulary flashcards, an ebook study guide, and more helpful tools. The link for this is in the description and comments below. RESPA. Now, what is RESPA? RESPA is Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. Nice and simple. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. I want you to look at those words. What is it? What actually is it? What's the noun there? The noun there is act. Just look at it. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. It's an act. Let's push that to the side. All that's left is RESP. The P is for procedure. Well, you know what procedure means. It's right there in front of you. Procedure means process, right? The process of something. How to do something. So we know what that means. Let's push that to the side. All that's left is RES. Now, you know what RE is? Real estate. You know what real estate is? Now, all that's left standing right there like Superman, the big fat ass settlement. That's where we're going to find the answer. Now, settlement means let's settle this once and for all. The end, right? Let's settle this once and for all. It's over and out. Boom, right there in front of us. When it comes to a loan, eventually it comes to an end, right? We fund it. We give the person the money and say, go buy your house. Let's settle this. When it comes to RESPA, it requires that the lender be transparent with all the closing costs to close the deal. There can't be no surprise. When we close this deal, you got to come up with an extra $10,000, right? So this is the deal. The Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act protects the borrower by revealing to the borrower down to the penny how much they have to come in with to close the deal. There's no hiding any fees for the lender. Remember TILA? Right? They had to be transparent at the beginning of the loan process. RESPA, we have to be very transparent when this thing is going to be settled once and for all. Not just that, listen to this. When it comes to RESPA, it's interesting. I consider RESPA almost like the police of real estate, like the police of lenders. They want to make sure everybody in that industry is on the up and up. When it comes to RESPA, hell, you never know when they're going to show up and see how you're running your business. So keep it safe. Let me give you an example. RESPA doesn't allow kickbacks. Did you know that? RESPA does not allow kickbacks. What does that mean, a kickback? A kickback is when a service provider, in this case, will assume an escrow office or a title representative or a lender. When they're working with a real estate agent, many times us real estate agents, we provide business to these service providers. The minute we open an escrow, we have a buyer and we have a seller, and we put them together. We put them together in a legal and binding contract, right? We now have to hire a title rep. We have to hire an escrow company. We have to hire an NHD company. So they're hoping you pick them. They're hoping, hey, pick me as escrow. Pick me as the title company. Pick me as the NHD company. Everybody, pick me. And you as a real estate agent, you're holding that client right here, that business deal right here, that transaction right here for them. And you have the ability to say, we're going to use this escrow office, we're going to use this title office, and they all are fighting for your business. And back in the day, many of these service providers who are asking for your business would give you gifts. They would give gifts to the real estate agents. Say, hey, if you pick me, you'll get tickets to the ball game. If you pick me, I'll give you the best cigars in town. If you pick me, I'll give you a nice bottle of whiskey. If you pick me, I'll give you a gift. If you pick me, you'll get this. Well, some agents would fall for that and say, hey, I will pick this person. Not because they're great at what they do, but because they give the best gifts. And by doing that, they're not looking out for the best interest of their client, of the buyer, of the borrower. Are you kidding me? For RESPA, a policing of real estate and loans says no more. No more kickbacks. We have to protect the buyer borrower. You got me? It's not about you getting the best seats in the stadium, getting the best bottle of wine. It's about the buyer, the borrower getting the best service possible. So RESPA in this case is a very good thing. Real Estate Settlement Procedures Act. What does it do? Two things. One, protect the borrower to make sure all costs are transparent and the borrower is not surprised saying, whoa, where did this big fee come from? You didn't tell me about this one. And two, they're protected when it comes to kickbacks. We don't like kickbacks. Not going to happen. RESPA, Real Estate Settlements Procedures Act. Sherman Antitrust Act. You're going to see that in your exams. Let's make sure we're comfortable with that term there. The Sherman Antitrust Act. Here it goes. Sherman Antitrust Act is this. It promotes fair competition. What am I talking about? Let me give you an example. I love examples. Examples make it crystal clear. So you have three brokerages in a very similar area. And they say, hey man, let's have a meeting. I'll meet you over at the local coffee shop. And all three show up at the local coffee shop, right? And they're drinking their coffee and they say, you know what? Let's monopolize this area. Meaning let's control the fees of this area when it comes to selling somebody's property. Let's make a pact right now that all three of us are going to charge 10% when it comes to selling somebody's property. 10%. Let's just make it standard. Let's fix the price for the general public in this area. You think that's fair? Of course it's not. It's not promoting competition. It's not allowing the consumer, in this case, a seller, to come in and say, will you do it for 8%? Will you do it for 6%? It's not allowing a consumer to negotiate. Why? Because brokerage A, brokerage B, and brokerage C have price fixed the amounts. They aren't allowed to compete with each other. And that's not good when it comes to real estate. So the Antitrust Act, what it does, it promotes what? Yeah, it promotes competition, which is important. Imagine you going to the store and eating, a gallon of milk. And wherever you go, it's the same price. Like, geez. When you have competition, people will be willing to work with you. You'll have a sale on something. price drops. You can negotiate in many cases. And that's the way it is here in the United States of America. We promote competition. There is no price fixing allowed. So back to Sherman Antitrust Act. What does it do when it comes to the real estate field? It does not allow price fixing. It promotes what? Yeah, competition. Remember that. That's probably what you're going to see on your exam. What does the Sherman Antitrust Act do? It does not allow brokerages to fix prices when it comes to commission costs. Please remember that, and that's what it is. If you need someone to break down concepts like these, I recommend you get our exam crash course videos. These are professionally produced video lectures where I explain the concepts that come up on the national portion of the exam. 8+ hours of simplified explanations, just like the video you're watching right now, to help you get ready for the exam. The link for these videos is in the comments and description below. The Fair Housing Act. That's a big one. The Fair Housing Act. I want you to know this for your exam because I guarantee it that exam will have several questions on this topic, the Fair Housing Act. Now that was in 1968. Please remember that date, 1968. Now what does that entail? This is what it entails. Equality for everyone when it comes to housing. I'm talking when it comes to buying property. I'm talking when it comes to selling property. I'm talking when it comes to renting. I'm talking when it comes to loans. Everybody has the right to be involved in that business. Everybody has the right to get services in those businesses when it comes to housing. And that's what it does. It's almost an extension of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now, the Civil Rights Act of 1964 eliminated discrimination. It gave everybody the opportunity to walk into a restaurant if they wanted to, regardless of their race, color, religion, sexual orientation, national origin, all that stuff. Think about it. It protected the classes from being discriminated against their race, color, religion, sex, national origin, familial status, meaning having children, disability, and that's important. So in 1968, they decided to go with the Federal Housing Act. And that protected all of those classes when it comes to housing. They all have the right to purchase property, to sell property. They all have the right to lease property and not be discriminated against. You couldn't have a landlord saying, I will not rent this property to you. I will not rent this property to you, not because you can't afford it, but because of the way you look, because of your race, your religion, your national origin. You cannot discriminate when it comes to housing. When it comes to loans, same thing. You can't redline. Remember, redlining is a term you're going to see. You can't redline, meaning lenders can't sit down and say, you know what, we don't want to give loans in this particular area because this particular group of people typically don't have great credit and will not pay us our mortgage payments. They will probably default on their loans. So we will not be giving loans to this particular area. That's redlining. All that's gone away with because of the Fair Housing Act. Everybody has the right to apply for a loan. Everybody has a right to be considered for a loan because of what they make, not because of the color of their skin. Self-explanatory. Right there in the title, Fair Housing Act. It's an act regarding what? Fair housing for everybody. The links for our exam prep and national crash course are in the comments and description below. If you're looking for another video to help you study for the exam, I recommend this one right here.